You're listening to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS podcast with hosts Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook podcast. We are here recording on MLB trade deadline day. James, night before 14-game Tuesday slate. We'll be live 5 o'clock Eastern up until the 6 o'clock hour, which is when the MLB trade deadline ends. So we'll be live doing a DFS show with an hour's full of what is essentially going to be a trade deadline show because no doubt about it, of the 14 games playing, 28 teams on the slate, there are players in the player pool that will, in fact, for surely be dealt, which that will be changing the way we have to approach. We know there are a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers, even as we were doing the live stream for Monday. Players are being traded as we got off the live stream on Monday. Mark Canha got traded from the Mets to the Brewers. We were on when we saw Josh Rojas and Canzone get traded to Seattle for Paul Sewald. So even while we're recording this show, it would not shock me if a trade was made as we break down this 14-game slate. So please definitely tune back in 5 o'clock Eastern time here on the Better Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm social channels. We'll have you updated with all of the news that happened throughout the day. We'll be giving you plenty of updates for the DFS slate that's going to be here. I would bet like DraftKings is going to have a whole bunch of players plastered in red saying like they're not going to accumulate points tonight. So all of that is to be important here. On the plus side, the deadline will pass before roster lock, so you don't have to worry about any of that going on here. And worrying about your players not being in lineups. We'll have all that trade news well before roster lock hits. So before we dive into tonight's 14-game slate, shout out to Real Time Fantasy Sports. Go to rtsports.com/alarm. Promo code ALARM23. New users get a 100% deposit match up to $200 on their first deposit. See the QR code down on the screen for those of you who are watching. You can scan that, take advantage of it. They have they have DFS Pick'em contests where they give you player projections. You decide if you want more or less on those projections. They also have, of course, seasonal and best ball, football, fantasy football contests. I think they have basketball contests there as well. It's coming around. You can get involved in their fantasy football championships and to use your deposit for that as well. So take advantage of everything they have going on at Real Time Fantasy Sports. Again, go to rtsports.com/alarm to take advantage of everything they got going on over there today. That said, let's turn our attention over to this DraftKings slate. 14 games on tap here, James. How do you want to kick it off tonight?
Pretty hard not to look at Spencer Strider. I know, the home run ball has bitten him quite a bit, John, but he's given up 4 home runs his last 2 starts and still has 26 and 27 fantasy points in those 2 games. Yeah. So Strider against an Angels lineup that's striking out more than anyone else against right-handed pitching is where I'd like to start a pitcher. Framber's been bad. Like, I don't know if you need to go there.
Weird, right? Like maybe he's not fully recovered from like that ankle that he had. He had that ankle injury that was hampering him, and he missed the start. I mean, this is not Framber Valdez, and if it is, Houston's in trouble. Yep. Because the Rangers are getting all the starters, and they're falling behind there in the West. So if they can't get Framber Valdez back on track, I mean, Texas, Oakland, LA, Seattle, St. Louis, all kind of doing the damage here. Strikeout numbers haven't been that great outside of LA because they strike out to everybody these days. But I'm with you. Like, if I'm going to spend up, I'm going to take the guy that even when he gets hit, he's giving me 30 fantasy points, right? Because if he doesn't get hit, he's giving me 50. So, what do we talk about? The Angels right now, I think it was like a 28% strikeout rate the last 2 weeks against right-handed pitching. Strider could be giving me 15 Ks in this outing.
Yeah, this is a upside Strider spot. And then you look at the rest of the top tier. I'm just moving on. Like, I don't want to play Framber. I don't really have much interest in Pablo Lopez. Like, you could get there if you wanted to. Gallen's kind of been meh especially for a guy at 10.5. Like, I don't know if there's a lot I'd like. Eflin is in a good spot, but do you want to pay 10.3 for him? I don't think I do. I would probably just play like Freddie Peralta coming off 13 strikeout game his last time out. We don't know what the the Nationals lineup is going to be. Heimer Candelario is all but certainly going to be traded. And he's been their best player this year. Justin Steele's 9,100. And I know the Reds have been good, but like Justin Steele's been really, really good this year. And in each of his last two starts, Carlos Rodon was really good in his last start. So like, I don't have a lot of interest outside of Strider above 10K.
Yeah, Rodon finally coming through a little bit, right? 5 2/3 and earned 4 Ks against the Mets. They 3-1 win, got him the W at 9K. Peralta's too tough to trust, even though, again, we'll see what Washington team is taking the field by the time that deadline goes around. They're a team that could be getting picked off. So, I'm with you there. I do like Brian Bayo. We talk about home run balls coming out of nowhere. This is starting to bite him for an extreme ground ball pitcher. But I am a fan of Bayo here at $8,900 as a bounce back candidate. Would be interested to see how many people would get to him given his recent struggles. And then we have Lance Lynn making his daughter's appearance here, going up against Oakland. How worried are you about Lance Lynn with the home run ball going up against Oakland? We know the strikeouts there.
I don't know. Oakland has a lot of lefties. They do. So, like, is JJ Bleday going to break the slate? Is Tony Kemp going yard off Lance Lynn?
Jace Peterson going Yabo?
This is like a real life conversation that we need to have. I don't know. He's going to be, look, the one thing we've known all year is that he sucked and people don't care. People still play him. They still play him. So he's going to be really popular again, even though he's given up 17 earned runs his last 3 starts. Like, I don't know.
If everybody sees Oakland, they're like, this is it. This is the spot. He's got Oakland here. He's got his new home ballpark, right? He's got new offense around him. Maybe he's rejuvenated. And then he's throwing meatballs over the plate to Brent Rooker, So
actually, yeah.
But I saw the name, I saw the debut. I thought it was worthy of bringing up. Any other guys in the mid tier though for you then?
Not that I want to use him, but shout out to Hyun-Jin Ryu making his debut here. For Toronto. Just shouting him out more than anything. I think that's interesting that Blue Jays are getting like a former. Did he win the Cy Young? Did he finish second in the Cy Young?
He didn't win, but I think he was probably a finalist a couple years ago.
He had like a sub-2 ERA that year. So just shout out to the Toronto getting back, like making a deal at the deadline that without making a deal, right? Getting Hyun-Jin Ryu coming off Tommy John. So
he was just second. He went back-to-back years of second and third in the Cy Young. The COVID shortened year, he was 2.69 ERA. He came in third. The year before that, 14-5, led the league in ERA at 2.32.
Yeah, I thought it was sub-2, but 2.30.
Not the year before that, 1.97. So
okay, okay. So yeah, good way to go. So
good
maybe
memory.
We get
good memory, James.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anyone else. I like Matt Manning here, 6,900. I know he got lit up, and that was the Ohtani. He just ran into a day where, he ran into a day where Ohtani couldn't be stopped in any facet of baseball. So I would go back to Manning against Pittsburgh. I don't think Mikolas, I doubt he actually makes a start. I think he's going to be traded. I'm fairly certain he's going to be traded here. We'll see if he's even on the team.
Got ejected after 7 pitches the other day.
7 pitches. Yeah, I mean, he might. First off, he could maybe drop his suspension because he realizes he's not going to win, and 2, he could be traded. Like, there's a lot of things where he doesn't.
If he doesn't, though, this is a ceiling strikeout game for him. Sure. Again, not a big strikeout guy, but he could come out of this game with like 6 Ks.
Yep.
That would be doable. Well, we don't know who's going to be on St. Louis by the end of this day.
No, fair.
So we could be circling all the way back and retaking a look at like Lopez here, being like, oh well, Arenado's gone or something like that, and now this lineup's way easier. So I'm with you. All right, let's move on over to hitters. Talk about it. Top price guys that you're looking to spend up for on this slate. Obviously, you've got someone like Murphy at catchers available. He took the night off on Monday, probably going to be in the lineup on Tuesday. Could play him as a spend up option. We've talked, Ohtani versus Strider. That's going to be a great matchup. Who gets the better of who? Ohtani probably still takes some tank, but
they probably both win. They probably both win here.
Right. So where are you looking to spend up here? Does Walda suck make an easy target for you?
He was pretty good his last outing.
Of course he was.
Lambert is starting for Colorado. It is another core slate. So right away, Machado, Bogarts, Ha-Seong Kim, Jake Cronenworth has been better. Like, insert entire San Diego infield here in play. So I think they're all in play. Look, Mets, we don't know what they're going to do. They're a mess. But Zach Greinke is taking the mound for Kansas City. He has been bad against lefties. Lindor is 5,200. He's been better again, like homers in 2 straight going into this game because they're off on Monday.
Sure.
So I like Lindor.
Bobby Witt's here against Quintana.
Yeah. So Witt. I was actually kind of interested in Quintana a little bit. He pitched well his last start, so I wouldn't be fully
$6,100 for him against Kansas City. So
I wouldn't be fully against going to Quintana in this spot. The Waldesuk thing is interesting. Muncy again double dong the other day. Like, all these infielders for LA are like, the good ones are lefties, Muncy and Freeman, but like Waldechuk hasn't. You could play WD Smith. He left the other day, so we'll see if he's going to be in the lineup.
We'll see if Betts is playing too. He got scratched due to ankle soreness, but the guy's a 400 ISO versus lefties. So
the lefties for the Dodgers, or the righties for the Dodgers, even the lefties for the Dodgers, all in play. So there's a lot of really interesting spend ups on this.
Ozzie Albies with the lefty splitting and Sandoval.
Yep, sure. And he's like, and Riley to that extent, they've both been dominant against lefties. Like, Sandoval is, and there's a reason why they went out and acquired all these people. Like, and they acquired Giolito. Like, you can't go into a playoff series with Patrick Sandoval potentially making a start. Like, that's not a good thing.
I agree with you. For some value guys then here down in the infield, if you're not in on Mikolas, there is some Minnesota plays here. Not Kirilloff, obviously, fortunately back on the IL, but Julian is $3,300 down here. Jimenez, talk about Framber struggles, and Jimenez being a lefty that's hammered lefties. Maybe see if he can continue his success, and maybe Framber continues to struggle. Someone that you could take a peek on down there as well. What other value plays? I mean, if you're targeting Lynn, obviously there's plenty of Oakland that you could look at here from the left side of the plate.
Yeah, I think Oakland's definitely in play. I think Colorado could be interesting. Dude, Ryan Weathers is horrible.
Yes.
And Colorado just doesn't get the bump at Coors Field. Tovar's been really good against lefties this year. He's 4,200.
It'd be a spot to play Brendan Rodgers, right?
Brendan Rodgers, yes. Brendan Rodgers at 2,600 and Elihuris Montero 3,300. All 3 of those guys, 4,200 or less, all in play, all in really good spots. Because again, Ryan Weathers, pure trash. Like, I cannot believe they're continuously going through the rotation. Like, look at his out. Like, his outings are horrible every start. So
the cheapest pitcher on the slate. So
for a reason, but no one's gonna play Colorado. Like, despite Ryan Weathers being on the slate, because it's like, why would I play him when I could play like everyone else? Like, but I think they're a cheap way to get some Coors exposure there in the infield.
I agree with you. All right, let's move on over to the outfield then, because there's definitely some value to help us spend up here. Acuna at $6,700 against Sandoval, $6,700.
We're gonna get 7K.
Are we closing in on a 7K?
Yeah,
this is gonna be like that time where, like, was it Harden or Westbrook finally hit like this 15K price tag, whatever it was, and you're like, oh boy, I've never seen this before. I think we're coming close to a 7K outfielder.
And you had to play him.
You had to
play him.
That's at least the difference between baseball and NBA. You knew that those guys were getting their stats. Acuna could, in fact, give you a 0. It's unlikely, but he did here against Milwaukee. He went 0 for 5.
Right.
So,
right.
I agree. 67 for Ronald Acuna. We talked Ohtani already. You have Soto, $6,300 in Coors. Judge at some point. Gavin Williams is pitching against Jordan and Tucker here. So a lot of good options up top.
Yeah, I think Soto stands out to me right off the bat, just with how good he's been in Coors Field. Gets Lambert on the mound. I think he is probably my favorite 6K option. You can obviously play anyone up here, including Luis Robert. John Gray got shelled again in his last start.
Yeah, he felt something has happened to him.
Yeah,
How good he started to where he's at now, man.
Yeah, it's insane. So I would definitely get to some Soto, some Robert. I don't know if what else in the 5K, John? Bellinger, they said they're not trading him. He's 5,200. He gets lively here.
No one's gonna play Toronto against Bradish, but I think you could.
No one's gonna play Toronto. Now, was that a Springer comment? Because he's 1 for his last 39. Like, no, I just can't.
They moved him all the way down, but I'm just saying in general, no one's
gonna play him.
No one's gonna play him. So.
Yeah, no one's gonna play him.
Price point wise, I mean, if you're, I guess these days you don't even need to play Springer as part of your Toronto stack. You just play Whit Merrifield instead.
you just plug and play Whit.
You just play Whit Merrifield instead. So we'll see what happens with Boston bats. I mean, they got Miller here. Is this his first start back or second? He missed. He was on IL for a bit.
I think he went through the rotation. This is his fourth start.
Yeah. Okay.
He was shelled. 4 home runs against Minnesota.
Okay, yeah, I know he missed time, so he's made a handful of starts since then. So we'll see. Interesting spot for Boston, but Yoshida here is a pretty good price tag. We'll see who's on this team come the end of this day as well. With rumors,
they're in the weirdest spot at the deadline,
making some moves. Everybody wants Duvall, but they're not sure they want to trade Duvall. Instead, they're opening Verdugo up to trade talks because they're so left-handed heavy on this Red Sox team that they need some righties somewhere. So,
Trevor Story come back as a righty bat.
Yep, Story will come back. Yeah, I mean, that way you won't have to worry about Yu Chang and Pablo Reyes in your lineup at the same time. Story will play one of those 2 positions. So, yeah, I'm with you there. But mid-tier wise, some interesting spots. DraftKings can't figure out that Randall Grichuk doesn't play for Colorado, even though it's been like 3 days since the trade's been announced. So. We'll see what happens there. Nimmo, 46.
Yep. Good spot. Lefties against Greinke.
Riley Green, 4,500 against Oviedo.
Yes, lefties against Oviedo.
Right, that's it. Lefties against Oviedo is my great spot, which means Carpenter's down here somewhere.
He's been.
I know he's been bad, they're all bad. It's Detroit, so so you close your eyes, you click play. Santander is better against lefties. I like him against Bassett on Monday because Bassett sucks versus lefties, but Santander's a switch hitter with his power coming against lefties. We didn't talk Mountcastle. As bad as Mountcastle's been, Mountcastle's numbers against lefties are still really good this year.
Yeah.
So, Ryu's a little rusty at all. Santander, Mountcastle, some guys in Baltimore that hit lefties could be in play here tonight as well.
Yeah, I'm okay with Santander. This is definitely the better split for him. This is a good tier for guys. Santander, really good. Osuna has been Eloy. Osuna has been really good. Jarren Duran, especially if Miller's going to continue to struggle. I like all these guys. Frelick under 4K. Profar under 4K. Nolan Jones was 4,300. That's another guy. If they do look, they're trading off everyone. Like, there's no reason Nolan Jones shouldn't play every day. If now the cramp thing is weird that it kept him out of the lineup for a full day. Like, how long are you cramping for, dude? Like, you left Sunday's game.
Drink some water. Yeah.
Drink some water. Like, what are we doing?
Remember when Brian Reynolds was like a 6K player?
Yeah. I traded for him in FJ. You want to know who I traded for? Or what traded away for him?
I'm worried to hear. Yeah. What was it?
I'm not going to tell you because I'm so sad about it. No, I traded Nolan Arenado.
Oh, man.
I had an influx of infielders and not enough outfielders, which is still my problem because Brian Reynolds is still not doing good. So still need outfielders.
Could be. Series versus Rodon, maybe?
Yeah. Series against, just power.
He might be bat flipping against Rodon. You don't know.
He could very well be.
Yeah, Rodon looks like a guy that Siri would be bat flipping against.
Yeah, him and his very vocal wife on Twitter. I don't know if you.
No.
The Rodons have very vocal Twitter accounts.
Okay. Any other value guys down here for you?
Let's bury the lead. Oakland, right?
Sure.
JJ Bleday, 3K. Brent Rooker, 33. Seth Brown, talk about only hitting home runs. He has 65 Ks in 61 games, 10 home runs. Like he
Yep.
just hits home runs. So like all these Oakland outfielders under 4K. Kemp, Laureano homered in Coors the other day. Like
Where's Rooker priced at?
33.
Okay, yeah.
And he's been good. And granted, 3 games in Coors gets you going, but it's been good. He's been better.
Yep. Kepler's down here at 31.
Oh, we have a big trade.
No.
Heimer Candelario
No.
to the Chicago Cubs.
What?
The Cubs are going for it.
What?
I love that deal.
Is this a real trade? Passan, I didn't get my Passan push notification.
It is a Ken Rosenthal trade going to the Cubs. I have to say, John.
Who's coming back?
I love it. You know where the Cubs sucked? They were playing Patrick Wisdom and Miles Mastrobuoni at third.
Yeah.
That's a great addition for a team that has won a lot of games lately. They're in a winnable division.
I'm so upset.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that Candelario, but he's going to a better lineup. He's going to a much better lineup.
True. It's true. All right. Well, then who's playing third for the Nats tonight? I guess that's the question. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who's going to be in their lineup playing third base. All right. Heartbreak. I wonder what they're sending back.
There's your passing.
Yeah, I know. I guess I should turn my noties on for Rosenthal too, right? I only have him on.
Yeah, you got to do Rosenthal noties too.
All right, let's build our lineup here. I'm all depressed.
Sorry to hear that.
My favorite National stack is falling apart in front of my eyes here.
Oh, we're never playing Nationals again.
We're not going to be able to. They're going to trade them all. They're all going to be gone. I mean, you'll be looking
Abrams
at
Abrams has a one-off.
Yeah, Abrams, Menezes, one stack, and Lane.
Is Menezes safe?
Yeah, it has to be. If they trade Thomas, I'll cry. If Lane Thomas goes somewhere, I'd be upset. Unbelievable.
Ildemaro Vargas, by the way, is probably going to start at third. If he's not traded, who knows?
It's true. That's true. All right, let's build a lineup. We're going Strider here, I imagine, right?
Yeah, let's go Strider, and let's get us. Do you want to punt with Quintana?
Quintana?
Yeah,
I agree. We were both going to the same place at the same time, so
yep,
that one works for me. Let's go here. Value. What's your catcher spot?
I'm looking
Murphy again, $2,400.
Probably.
Would Omar Narvaez play against Frankie, or would they go with?
They might. Yeah, they actually played both catchers last. Or no, they didn't. They might go Narvaez. I know he's a favorite of yours. I did the stream I did with Fancy last week. I gave you a shout.
Thanks. He was my favorite guy 3 years ago. He was so good though.
Bayo hasn't been great as much as you like him, and he is a good pitcher.
Well, he was very good for a while. He just gets a one big home run. Like the Atlanta Braves game, the 3 runs he allowed was just a 3-run home run to Ozzie Albies. That was it. Just one big swing. That's been the problem for him lately. So, all right, I'm willing to spend down here. Let's go. We'll go Murphy again because we're not playing Bayo. So, where is he? $2,400. AJ Pollock going to the Giants.
He hits. I mean, they need someone who hits lefties, right? They have nobody who hits lefties. So
yeah. So live trade breakdowns as it happens here. We're not even close to the deadline yet. So see what else happens. All right, Murphy 24. First base position here. What was our top stat? What did we decide on as our top stack tonight?
San Diego
Padres,
or the depending on who's in for the Dodgers.
Sure.
They get Waldachuk. We also didn't talk Texas, but Jesse Schultz is expected to start. We don't know who's going to start. He may or may not. Colorado's a good value stack for us. Atlanta's a really good stack against Sandoval. The Cubs against Lively. Now adding Heimer Candelario, I assume he's in the lineup, would be a very interesting
We probably
spot.
won't be able to use him though, right? I don't know if they'll change his team quick enough.
The Angels were on Monday slate. Like you could use Grishik and Crone for the Angels.
Well, then how are they showing up as the wrong team on this slate?
Well, that's the DraftKings. That needs to be fixed. I mean, what are we doing?
I'm fine going Padres again. That's fine. Kim, Soto, and who?
Cronenworth or Gary?
Yeah, well, we use Murphy, but I can go Gary. That's fine.
No, I mean, the Murphy value is pretty good. I don't think we're going to be able to afford much. Here's the issue. We don't have money. We're playing Spencer Strider.
True.
So I think Brendan Rodgers at second base, probably better than Kim, just given the price.
Sure.
Like $2,600 gives us a lot of value. We could play a one-off Soto in this game.
Yeah, I'm down with doing a one-off Soto. That works. Want to go? Would you do? I mean, are you in on Ryu? Would you want to go like Mountcastle, Santander?
I would play a two-man stack. Yeah, I mean, Hyunjin is gonna be good, but he's coming off Tommy John, right? So we have no idea how good or bad he's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of, again, I know Mountcastle's has not really come through this year as many had hoped. Ballpark certainly not doing him any favors there, but you look at his splits this season going up against left-handed pitching, and they've still been pretty elite. Let's see, lefties, 319 batting average on the year against left-handed pitching, a 341 ISO, 417 WOBA. So he is just hammering lefties still. So two-man Santander Mountcastle gives us 4,100 a play, third, short, and outfield.
Third, short, outfield. Let's look at shortstop value. We're going to have Luciano again, but he gets Gallon. Don't love that. Ezekiel Duran, 3,700 shortstop.
I would play Abrams against Peralta.
So would I. I would play pretty much any. Peralta, I like where the upside he provided last start. But again, start to start. Jace Peterson at third, John, 3,100.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Definitely down to get a guy against Lynn. So that gives us a $5,200 outfield spend here. Could go Bellinger against Lively.
That's where I was going.
Okay. So there's an example lineup that we got out here for this slate. Again, James and I will be back live at 5 o'clock Eastern time, right in the thick of it. And it would be an hour until the trade deadline comes and goes. So I would imagine when we go live at 5 o'clock, there'll be a lot to talk about happening at that time. So to recap the lineup we got here, there's Strider, Quintana, Murphy, Mountcastle, Rogers, Peterson, Abrams, Soto, Santander, and Bellinger here for the first look at Tuesday's 14-game main slate. James and I will be in our Discord. If you're not yet a Fantasy Alarm member, go to fantasyalarm.com/all-pro. Become a member of the all-pro team here. You got a 7-day free trial. You get access to all of our content and our premium Discord channel there as well, along with the Fantasy Football Draft Guide, now live, being updated daily as the news breaks, and getting all the news updates happening there. So find us there. Find us on Twitter. James and I will be around. We'll talk to you later.